So I'm here with Ignacio Pino of CDI Laboratories.
Yes.
Hi, thank you for spending some time here at BioEurope to speak.
Thank you for having me here. A pleasure. Being here in a combination of on my own, looking for opportunity for our company, but also almost as an ambassador for Puerto Rico with the team of the Office of Puerto Rico that is here.
Okay, so let's first get a sense of what your company is all about. So tell us a little bit about CDI.
Sure. CDI it's a company focused on going after the discoveries that can be done with large content protein microarrays, and that's very broad. You know, it's a research tool that can provide information in the area of antibodies, in the area of biomarkers, in the area of even basic science. So one aim is to take that technology that hires the largest protein microarray in existence for human proteome and launch it and make it go full capacity. On the other hand, we have some what we call top-down approaches, where we're using the technology to then accelerate on R&D in the areas of biomarker discovery in autoimmune diseases, cancer, and also in transplant rejection.
And so when you started your company, so I have to admit, Puerto Rico is not a name that jumps out at me as being a biotech hub by any stretch of the imagination.
Sure.
So, I mean, why did you choose to remain in Puerto Rico, or why did you found your business in Puerto Rico when there are other options out there?
Yeah, and so although not well known, Puerto Rico is a hub for many biopharmaceuticals, the classics, Amgen, and this that started this movement grew their manufacturing in the island. So there's a big ecosystem already of well-trained people, of universities that are aligned with the needs of this industry, etc. But you know, on the other hand, it's full of talented people, a lot of hard workers that come with this mentality because we're inspired by the industry that has grown on the island. When the founder groups of CDI got together, we were looking at a site where we could have access to plenty of dexterous hands that could generate the reagents that we use. Their complex reagents require a lot of hours on the hood, a lot of hours of manufacturing, and Puerto Rico had that to offer. Another important opportunity that we tapped into was that Puerto Rico is actually a U.S. territory, so we have access to grants at Puerto Rico of the federal government, NIH, National Institute of Health, and all its institutes, and that's really been a query of non-dilutive financing for us, with the special sort of icing on the cake that the government of Puerto Rico and some non-profits that are there to foster economic growth provide matching funding, again, non-dilutive. So really, if you are able to tap into grants in Puerto Rico, they're worth at least 1.5 more. So that's very attractive.
So if I'm, let's say, an emerging early stage company based in the US, it probably pays to take a look at Puerto Rico as being a location, simply because I got the benefits of tapping into grant monies on the federal level in the US, but you get preferential treatment, I assume, for locating in Puerto Rico. Is that pretty much what we're talking about?
You don't get preferential treatment from the federal government, but you get these other add-ons from Puerto Rico itself that make it, accelerate or multiply in a way what you got from the federal government. So it really is a win-win scenario. The island gets new technologies, and the entrepreneur, the new company, stretches out the funding even further.
Sure. No, everybody wants non-dilutive funding if you can get it. Sure, I can relate to that. So let's talk a little bit about that ecosystem that is in Puerto Rico right now. It seems to me that there's a relative movement or expertise in biosimilars and biologics. Is that a good read?
Mostly, Puerto Rico has been well known for the past 50 years, first from small molecule manufacturing, now biologicals manufacturing, mainly the bigger selling large blockbuster monoclonal antibodies that we all know. A lot of them are manufactured in the island. So really that's the driver. That's been the driver for the last 50 years. that has led to the island looking at the value chain in biotech and saying, hey, we have the talent, we have the access to funding. Let's try to insert ourselves also in the R&D phase, and that's what we are. CDI is what I would say the flagship, the first company that's really coming out of the island and tapping into that earlier part of the value chain.
So maybe any tips for us, companies that are out there, if they're maybe intrigued by what you're saying about Puerto Rico being a location, but what would you recommend they do as a first step?
The first step, good sites to go to is Pritco, PRIDO.com. That's the Puerto Rico Industrial Development Corporation. It's a government agency, and from there you would have a very comprehensive explanation on all the benefits, all the people that are there to help you, and the initial people that can start helping you move around.
Well, Ignacio, thanks for spending some time and letting us know about your company and also Puerto Rico.
Thank you.